Hello there. My name is Lauren. If we haven't been acquainted, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time seeing my face. So I'm recording this again. Not because I fucked up. I think it's just I keep recording this video, and then after I'm done recording it, I'm like, that was good. And then I have another thought that I'm like, oh, that should have been in the video. Actually, that's actually really important. Maybe you should make the video again. So that's where I'm at. And it's kind of funny. It's funny because of what this video is about, which is basically my identity crisis on what these videos even are. Because if you have been following me, sometimes I'll say things like, oh, I'm not a channeler, or, you know, I'll be like, well, the structure of it is gonna be this. And I think it's all been because I have been trying to present myself in a way, in like a certain way. I think that I put this pressure, this invisible pressure upon myself to be some sort of master teacher because I'm giving guidance. That's what this is. I would assume is my, or not, I define what I'm doing is I am taking my life experiences and I am guiding people through it. If you're watching, it's because you might find something, you might just connect or resonate with things that I talk about and have insights about myself. I've always been a storyteller. And I think that I started to put this kind of invisible pressure on myself because I watch a lot of channelers. I watch a lot of people with a lot of spiritual, esoterical knowledge. A lot of people that are just like really advanced into different aspects of spirituality. And I think I've been putting this invisible pressure on myself to keep up and to show up like that, to show up as like an all-knowing master, because if not, then why am I giving guidance? And what I have now sat with and now understood is that some people learn through teaching. And that is me. I am one of those people. So, you know, have you ever experienced, like with math, if there was a problem, you'd be really in your head about how to solve it, but then as soon as you start to explain and try to go through it with somebody else, you're able to conceptualize it for yourself. So that is this. I am going through life learning. There are things that I am learning and I'm sharing with you in real time in hopes that maybe as soon as you see it, you have more clarity on your journey. And this is something I've kind of noticed with myself, you know, is that I've always been the type of person that is super curious and has to go off and venture to find out, is the first one to go off and venture. You know, I always, like when I was younger, I had a lot of friends that were younger than me, so I would tell them about what was going on in my grade. And then, extrapolate that to years later, I was the first one in my high school group of friends to go out and find, you know, something like an interest outside of what was being offered at school, which for me was dance. And then with psychedelics, a lot of my friends were interested, and we all knew that we wanted to try it, but I was the first one to actually go do it. And because I was the first one to do it, everyone after me was able to know, oh, okay, it's safe to do because she did it and she's fine. She's better than fine. Holy shit, she's cured depression. That was really loud. I don't know if that was really loud for you. Also want to disclaim on YouTube, because I think there's a thing. I am not promoting the use of plant medicine. I'm not a doctor. But look into it if you want to look into it. Do your own research. But yeah, I've always just been the type of person that would step out and just discover things first. I don't really wait for my friends to come do it with me type of thing. It's like, if I need to know, I need to know. So I will follow and I will figure it out. But it's interesting too, because it does kind of, it has all the things to do with my childhood and my upbringing. So I'm a Gemini rising, and I learned recently that some of the dynamics that are very common within Gemini is pretty much having socially absent parents. So it's like your parents are there, but because they don't really focus the attention on you, you feel like you need to either get that attention or get that authoritative a figure, the approval of the approval oh fuck, the approval of an authority figure outside of your parents. So yeah, that is something that I have constantly done, is I'm always in search for another mentor or somebody who can guide me. And what I've realized recently is that a lot of the reasons why I never had a mentor like that, or mentoring like that has never worked out for me, is because I am just naturally already a leader, and there was never going to be anybody else who was going to be able to guide me better than I've already learned to guide myself. And here we are. Here we are. And yeah, I'm very glad to be here and to have a platform where I can share my experiences and I can share my stories, and now not have the pressure of feeling like, oh, I gotta say some really, really motherfucking wisdom strong, I gotta like bring up the history of all this shit, and I gotta tell the people I am not there yet. There are things that I've said that I want to make videos on. For example, the Hermetic laws, because like I believe if everybody was aware of the Hermetic laws and was able to kind of see their life through that lens, and to see how the Hermetic laws, which are pretty much natural laws, they're the laws that apply to everything in the universe, and yeah, it's different from what we think are laws, because all of our laws are man-made, and some of them just have different intentions than, like, you know, they're more for control than anything else. But the Hermetic laws, natural laws, they are universal. They apply to everything and everyone in this universe. And yeah, that's something that I have wanted to make videos about, because I reference the laws a lot, namely mentalism and correspondence. Mentalism, look at me, witness me now, witness me now, teaching you what I learned not too long ago. But mentalism is understanding that everything is mental. The world is mental. What happens in your mind is how you will perceive the world. It is how you manifest things into the world. And correspondence is pretty much like law of attraction, where the frequency that you emit is what you call in. As within, so below. Wait, no. As within, so without. As above, so below. Yeah, so eventually I want to be able to make mastery courses about this. I want to get to a point where this is what I'm teaching, because again, like I just said, I think it's very important for a lot of people to know. And I don't know, maybe people will listen to me because I'm a pretty girl. I hope so. But yeah, it's like those things, I know that I'm not at the level of mastery with those things as I'd like to be, and that's why I haven't pushed myself to make that content yet, because yeah, I'm still learning for myself. So yeah, now I can just make these videos and put up a disclaimer that this is the shit I'm learning right now. I hope you learned something from that. I don't know, we'll work on a tagline. Do I need a tagline? I don't know. Do I even need to explain myself? Probably not. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I was worried that people would come on here and be like, who does this girl think she is? And the answer is, this girl is just a girl who's trying to learn. Just trying to improve her life. And if you resonate with me and my journey, then it's because you probably want to grow and do better in life as well. Yeah, another reason why this came up was because I was recording something earlier, and I kind of I've noticed this. This isn't the first time I had this realization of this thing that I've noticed, but I've noticed that sometimes when I talk on here, I speak a lot more formally than I'm used to. I use, like, in my regular life, I swear a lot. And I use a lot of slang. I'm from Scarborough, that's East Toronto. Did I already say this part? I don't know, because I've recorded this so many times. But yeah, so there's certain slang words that I usually use in my day-to-day speak, or when I talk to myself, and I'm like, why don't I feel comfortable talking like that in front of the camera? And it's because I've been putting myself in this mindset that I have to be this fucking all-knowing professional teacher authority figure. And so it's like, thinking about it like that, then I kind of default to my like professional mode. So the mode that I am in work, or when I'm talking to people who are older than me. People that are older than me, I guess, like in my family, you know, when they say respect your elders, because it's like there's some old people that are cool. There's some old people that swear and they're down with the lingo. And then there's others that are not. And I mean, I think for the use of slang, I don't think I automatically use it, because I get that not everybody is going to, it's not going to land with everybody. But in knowing that, and I think one of the previous times that I recorded this, I was talking about how like, it's absolutely fine to adapt to whatever environment you're in, but it's about what knowing your baseline is and making sure that you're not moving too far away from the baseline or putting yourself in too many situations where you feel forced from the baseline, because what happens is then you'll start to identify more with whatever community you're whichever environment it is that you're adapting to so frequently. There's a movie. It's like one of my favorite movies too. I think it's Sorry to Bother You. Because it's basically about this guy who he like becomes a telemarketer, and at first he's not making any sales, and then somebody tells him to use his white voice because he was black. So yeah, he uses his white voice, and then it gives him all these opportunities. His white voice. I'd like to also mention that I'm like trying to, I want to put this in a way that makes sense. I don't fuck with labels like that. You know, like I don't attach attributes of a type of person to a skin color, because no, it's just that. Oh, there's a line in this rapper I used to listen to in high school, but he said something like, how, like, you can't, or it was something about acting black, and then he was basically saying that, like, it's not black talk, it's street talk. Because it's like, yeah, if you're from the streets, you speak a certain way. But because a majority of people that are from the streets happen to be black, it gets associated with the color instead of the person. Far off tangent. What the fuck was I even talking about? Making it. So, I was talking about the movie. Basically, because there comes a point in the movie where I guess he's talking with his coworkers, his like upper level coworkers, and then they tell him to stop using that accent or stop using the voice, and then they're asking him about his story, and then and stuff like that, and he's like, oh well, I didn't grow up like that, and I don't really talk like that anymore. And yeah, I guess it's a thing of when you are constantly adapting to a type of version of yourself that's not authentic to the baseline, that becomes the baseline. So it was a long journey, but we got here. So yeah, I guess there was a level of me doing that here where I wasn't talking like I normally do, and I was being more, I'm even doing it a little bit now, where it's like I'm doing a lot to watch my words rather than to just speak. And I think this is one of the reasons why I don't, I guess, consider myself a channeler, even though technically what I am doing is a bit of channeling. It's me having thoughts and then speaking them, allowing them to come down through my mind and flow outwards to you. But yeah, it's like I'm so careful with my words because there's a part of me that's just so afraid of saying the wrong things or being perceived wrong, and letting go of that once and for all. That's something that I have been letting go of all year, and I think I'm kind of at the end of purging all of that. There's some other shit that happened this weekend that I won't get into, not in this video at least. that kind of is about the same thing, or it showed me where I still kind of, or where I still had some things to work on regarding that in my subconscious. You know, there was still a level of me caring about how other people perceive me, because a lot of what I've been going through this year has just been me shedding identities and beliefs that weren't mine, because I cared so much for so long about what other people thought about me. And this actually has to do with me being a Gemini as well, because and the whole childhood dynamic that I went through. It's because, you know, like, when your parents are socially absent and then you get a little bit of attention, then you kind of do your best to be whatever you think you need to be to get more attention, which is really sad. And I mean, like, this isn't just a Gemini dynamic. I'm sure that a lot of people go through this. Even, like, I do think this is something that's taught really early. You know, when I think about how people discipline their kids, because I have a kid and I'm going through it now, it's like, sometimes it just seems like it'd be the easier way to just show your disdain, take away the fun, happy feelings, or, like, you know, to express that what the action that your child is taking is not right, by showing them that it's not favorable. And, you know, that's how we kind of get conditioned to act in certain ways that are good by a society, or measurable by like a societal standard, rather than how you actually just are. And, you know, like, some of that needs to happen. Like, it's hard, it's tough. Let me tell you, it's tough being a parent, especially my daughter's turning 2 soon. So what they say about the terrible twos, bro, I can't even begin to that's a whole other topic in itself as well. But, like, yo, kids will test you, and kids will test you in ways that is dangerous to themselves. And it's like, you know, you can't, sometimes you can't do anything but react in such a way where you're like, yo, this is not okay, and this makes mommy mad. Please stop this. But, you know, it's like, it's a thing of, what I'm learning about parenting is that it's all about patience and repetition, right? The more that you tell them that it's not okay, the more that you give them examples of other things that they can do, and not just distract them from whatever it was that made you upset at them, and then now cause them to be upset more, or cry, or, you know, react to your reaction. But yeah, a lot of people don't have patience, and I think as a parent, you really need patience. Anyways, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, it's a ramble. This was a ramble. But I think I got the gist of it, to be honest. It's like, pretty much I've been learning, again, to let go of how people perceive me, and to not put myself in a box, really, as well. To understand that, and be really real with where I'm at, which is, I'm not a master at any of this stuff. I'm learning. But as I learn, you can learn from what I'm learning. I'm just going to be the first, I'm just going to be that one that did it just before you did. And hopefully the lessons that I learned bring you clarity and insight on your own journey. So thanks for rocking with me. Thank you for listening. Like I said, I hope you found this insightful. I hope this gave you some sort of clarity. And until next time, bye.